Alright, Hawkins here at Chickenhawkfarmstead. I'm still getting set up for what I'm about to do, but I figured I'd go ahead and start my intro. Like you saw, today we're going to be testing out this little welder. I've welded once prior to this. I got this little welder. It's probably the third or fourth. What was I looking for? Man, I done distracted myself. It's about my second or third. I had one set in the box till it got chewed up by rats. Then I had another one. I can't remember what happened to it. But this one, it's like a $40 to $50 welder off Amazon. And some kind of coupon deal and stuff. And I ordered it. It didn't get destroyed. And I finally broke it out the other day and played with it a little bit. And now I'm going to make a video about it. Because I'm a first time welder. Show you what it came with. And all that. Hold on a second. Let me grab my mask. Sorry about that. Yeah, I walked back to there 4 times. Kept forgetting what I was grabbing. Welding mask. Gonna need that. I usually use wood. I'm not a metal person. I've been trying to venture out. You know, I'm over 40 now. Might as well learn something different. So today, let me show you what we're gonna do. And then all you good welders out there, eat me alive. As long as it's constructive. You know what I mean? Say, hey, do this, do that. Look at my setup. Yeah, the fire risk I already get. Whatever. You know, you'll see what I mean here in a second. I got a fire extinguisher right over there. We'll deal with it if it happens. I'm not that worried about it. Gotta make some things fun. All right. So this is another video I just did. This is wooden ramps. You can see up here we got the little piece that goes on, clips and hooks into the end of the trailer. It was just a wooden ramp, and I just added these 2 pieces of metal. They're not angle iron. These are actually T's. But they're old fencing material. But I think it's going to add a lot of strength to this, because a lot of times when I do drive up onto it, you know, we're going to be on one of these or both, depending on the size of the tire. Most likely one or the other, and it's going to give a lot more strength to this. But another thing I thought about was, this is a old, like I said, old shelving thing. So we got some of this. It's not very big, yeah, it's flexible and stuff. But I'm thinking about adding a couple of these across here. If anything, if you're on this and it's like, if something does happen, you're putting a lot of pressure on the outer edge, pulling it away. This, you're going to be pulling it back. So it's going to help that, because all I got is some little screws in there. So I can get about 2 of these out of each. So I figure I'll do 2 on each ramp. 1 of this ramp, 1 of the other. Something else I thought about though, is a lot of times when you're driving up on ramps, you do slip. You got traction issues, especially with these wooden ramps. So I'm going to take one of these pieces of rebar and weld across here. And then, you know, up here or whatever. But that way it's going to give us, you know, when that tire hits it, it's going to be a traction point. And it gives me some more practice welding. All right, onto the welder. Here's our welder. Yep, that's it. It's a 110 little welder. We can set our amperage right here, as you can see. I don't even know how it really works. Like I said, this is only the second time I ever welded. It came with these rods. It came with this little brush and hammer doodad. There's the clamps it came with and stuff. Is the stuff super cheap? I'm sure. I'm hoping I can just clamp that on there and it's going to complete the circuit. I got my grinder out, so if I got to clean it, you know, scratch some off to help, I'll do that. I got some welding gloves. It came with one of those cheap masks. It looks like a mask you wear to a masquerade ball, you know, where you hold it in your hand. You're supposed to do this while you're welding it with the other hand. But I got another one. I like strugglable.net. That's where I got that thing for super cheap. And I think this little auto mask, I think I paid 25 or 30 bucks for it. Give me just a second, let me get it out of the bag. Yeah, I dropped the price, but look how cool that is. It's even got some cool artwork. And it's got the auto stuff or whatever, the little solar panel or something. I don't know how these things work. I don't even know what to set it to. My current settings are to max, and then sensitivity is medium. Delay is max. That doesn't sound good, does it? Let me know what I should do. I want to turn my delay into medium. Yeah. Anyways, like I said, first time welding video. It is what it is. I'm going to go with the tripod, get this stuff cut, grind off my stuff, and then let you tell me how bad of a welder I am, I guess. Actually, tell me how good I did, because that's going to motivate me to do more. And like I said, definitely give me constructive criticism. If like I'm doing something that's like way harder than it should be or whatever. You know, my first time doing it, I found out like, you know, it keeps sticking. You get too close, and if you get too far away, the current, you got to get that I had no clue about any of it. I had to watch all these videos about it, and nobody's really explained it that way, where it's like you got to find that distance where the arc of the electric is being made to keep the heat going or something. So, all right, anyways, I'll be right back. Let me get this stuff grinded up, get my gloves and stuff on, and we'll be right back. All right, I'm behind the camera right now. Oops, I don't know how this helmet works. And I'm getting my gloves on. For anybody that wants to know, where'd it go? The rods are, I don't know if we can show that or not. What's it say? 1422. I don't remember what it means. But these are the ones that came with, so these are the ones we're going to use. I got some other ones, but yeah. So anyways, let me get my nice gloves on here. Oh, getting your hand in there is not very easy. What's the rule? Just don't die, right? Let's hope we don't die. Hopefully this headset thing works. Ah! So like I said, be kind. Don't be too mean. Might help if I plug it up. Alright, let's try this again. Now I got this thing plugged up. Alright, amperage. I don't know. Half? Let's put it around half. So halfway to 20, 100 something, 60 something ish, I guess. Amps. That might be way too much, maybe way too little. I don't know. You tell me. Alright, let's not lose an eye and see what happens. Turn the unit on is another important step. Alright, got it turned on. It says we're at 62. Yeah, it's got a little digital readout. We're 59. Let's see what happens. Alright, 60's a little high. I'm going to turn it down some. Try about... Alright, I dropped it down to 37. Seemed to be melting this metal pretty too easily. And I'm trying to get it, a good bead all the way around. So, let me try it now. Like I said, it's down to 37 now. Alright, so you heard that. I flipped the switch. It had a cooling down phase. And our weld is done, though. On this side, I think. Let me show you what we got. And like I said, again, let me know what you think. I do like that. Once I turned it down, it did do a lot better. I was way too hot initially. So, I mean, is it great? No. Is it okay? I think so. Let me grab that little thing, brush, and we'll chip it off and wash it real quick, or scrub it, or whatever the hell it is. All right. So I'm a world-class welder? No. But it worked. Bet you that thing's stuck on there. Watch this. It ain't going nowhere. So I'm gonna weld this side now. We'll be back. Well, you see me do that little dance? Whew. Yeah, that sucked. I got a little, I guess a little chunk of something fell inside my boot. But anyways, that was hard to get started. I had to crank it up a little bit, I guess, to get through the paint. Yeah, because I should have got that paint off the piece I was welding. And like that. Like I said, first time. But let's take a closer look and see what you think. Is it pretty? Not really. But is it going to go anywhere? No. And for a first time practicing, looks pretty good. Yeah, I mean, really, if I wanted to, I could just grind that down, make it look all kinds of pretty, which I may or may not do. I don't know. I'll take it. I'm going to beat it with a hammer here in a bit, though, and see if it fractured off, see if I actually got a good, like, you know, weld between the two pieces of metal. But I think I did. So, all right. There you go. If you're thinking about it, just do it. If you can find you one of these little $50 welders, pick it up and start welding shit together. Practice. I mean, getting over that first hump was my biggest thing. And now that I got over that the other day, I'm not so scared about coming out and doing this. Not that it's scary, but you know, anything you haven't done before, it's a little, it's different. So, all right, like, share, subscribe, be back, and yeah, you better subscribe, because I'll make another video when these fail, and you can say I told you so. But like I said, give me some little pointers and tips. You know, yeah, maybe lost my boots, something like that. Later. All right, apparently I forgot to ever do the end of my little welding video. So one of the big things I wanted to end it with was, did it work? Yes. Did it work good? Okay. Big keynote to think about though is I kept popping breakers. If you're going to use something like this, you know, you got to think it's pulling a lot of power, especially if you're getting a good long bead going or whatever, you know, it's going to max it out, because you're going to get a little bit of surge capacity out of certain things. So what I did is I went and bought me one of these here. I want to say it's a 14 gauge. Give me a second. All right, anyways, yeah. It's, I believe, a 12 gauge extension cord here, which is never bad to have. I think it's a 25 foot or 50 foot. And the other thing is I'm going to put that onto, plug it into like a dedicated 20 volt. You know, I got a 20 amp circuit. I got a 20 amp circuit over here. And I mean, it's just the one plug going off of it. So I could add, and I know exactly what's plugged into it, if that makes sense, because I ran all this myself. So there's a 20 amp over here, and I'm going to run another 20 amp on the other side next to the driveway in the garage. Probably over here, I guess, because it'd be shorter. But yeah, I'll run a 20 amp plug there. So then I can plug in with my extension cord and do what I need to do. Between that one and this one, I can reach anywhere in the garage. I can get pretty good ways out of the garage. And like I said, it'll give me to do what I can do. And with the 20 amp breaker, very less likely that I'll be tripping it. You know, I still got to keep it, can't go full max out or whatever on that thing. But kind of find our ways. The other ones I had, yeah, I mean, it was ran through one of those little spool, and it was a smaller cord. I wasn't even thinking about that part of it. And then it had a little breaker on the side of it. It kept tripping, and then I plugged it directly into another line, which was another power strip. Wasn't thinking again. So yeah. So anyways, in the future, I'll definitely plug it straight into a 20 amp outlet or whatever, 20 amp line, with nothing else on it. So that way, you know, if anything else is on that same circuit, I know what's on what circuits. I'll turn it off for the time being if there is something. So that's something to think about. But other than that, for a cheap little welder, it did the trick. And it's definitely going to be something I can learn with. And if it is crappy, if I can learn to use a crappy one, think about how good I'll be if I ever buy a real one, or you know what I mean, a good one. Anyways, I'll put a description or a link to that one if I can find it, if they even still have it, because you know how that Chinese stuff goes. But if not, I'll find the closest thing I can, link to it. You know, these little things, they work. If they can stick two pieces of metal together, we're good, right? All right, like, share, subscribe. Have a great day.